Mandalay Bay is one of the most beautiful properties in Las Vegas. 3,000 rooms rising into the Nevada sky, 1.7 million square feet of convention space, an 11-acre beach with real sand and a lazy river, the Shark Reef Aquarium, House of Blues. 4 Seasons occupying the top floors. And now, right next door to Allegiant Stadium, home of the Raiders, host of the Super Bowl, 70,000 seats bringing visitors directly to its doorstep. On paper, this should be one of the best performing properties on the entire Las Vegas Strip. But walk through Mandalay Bay on a Tuesday afternoon. Feel the casino floor. Notice how the energy is different. The slot machines have space between players. The tables have openings. The restaurants aren't turning people away. Now think about the Bellagio, the Venetian, the Cosmopolitan. Those properties pulse with life. Bodies everywhere. Noise and excitement, and that electricity that makes Vegas feel like Vegas. Mandalay Bay feels like it's dead, waiting for the convention to arrive, waiting for the game to start, waiting for something to fill the space. Something is wrong with this property, something that explains the quiet, the struggles, the slow decline that's been happening for years. And it's a problem no one wants to talk about. If you want the real story behind Vegas properties, not the press releases, not the marketing spin, the actual reality, hit subscribe. We dig into the numbers, the history, the problems casinos don't want you to see, because the truth is always more interesting than the brochure. Now, the obvious problems with Mandalay Bay are well documented. Anyone who stayed there knows them. Problem 1, the location, furthest south on the Strip. Distance to Bellagio, 1.3 miles. Distance to Wynn, 2.5 miles. Getting there requires a tram, plus walking, plus the monorail. Mandalay Bay sits at the very end of the Strip, the furthest south you can go, 1.3 miles to the Bellagio, 2.5 miles to the Wynn. If you want to explore Las Vegas, you're starting from the furthest possible point and working your way north. I got fed up with trekking to the center, one tourist wrote. The location is less desirable if you're looking to be in the heart of the action. You'll find versions of that complaint in hundreds of reviews. Problem 2, the convention dependency. Convention space, 2.1 million square feet, 10th largest in the United States. Business model, conventions fill rooms. When conventions leave, quiet. Mandalay Bay's business model depends heavily on conventions. 2.1 million square feet of meeting space, the 10th largest convention facility in the country. When there's a major trade show, the property is packed, energy everywhere. But when there isn't a convention, weekdays can feel like a ghost town. Some restaurants actually close midweek because there aren't enough guests to justify staying open. The property has aggressively managed costs, their words, to deal with the lower revenue. These problems are real. The location is challenging. The convention dependency is a vulnerability, but lots of properties have location issues. Lots of properties depend on business travel. So why does Mandalay Bay feel different? Why does it carry this weight that other Strip properties don't? Why do tourists describe it as quiet and muted? Why did one longtime Vegas visitor say the property has been on shaky footing for years? There's something else. Because there is something else. Something that happened 8 years ago. Something this property has never fully recovered from. Something no one wants to talk about. The 1st of October 2017. On the 1st of October 2017, Mandalay Bay became the site of the deadliest mass shooting in modern American history. A gunman stationed himself in a suite on the 32nd floor, 2 windows facing the Las Vegas Strip. Directly below and across the street, 22,000 people were attending the Route 91 Harvest Country Music Festival. For 11 minutes, gunfire rained down on the crowd below. 60 people were killed, more than 800 were injured, families destroyed, lives ended, a community scarred, and Mandalay Bay became forever linked to one of the darkest nights in Las Vegas history. In the immediate aftermath, Mandalay Bay faced an impossible situation. How do you operate a resort that just became the site of a massacre? Revenue per available room dropped about 5% and stayed down for 9 months. MGM deliberately scaled back marketing for the property. Leisure travelers were described as hesitant to book stays. Convention business became even more critical because it was the only thing keeping occupancy up. Victims and their families filed thousands of lawsuits. In 2019, MGM agreed to settle for up to $800 million. one of the largest mass shooting settlements in American history, an acknowledgement of liability, a financial reckoning that still echoes. They replaced the windows, they enhanced security, they renovated, they tried to move forward, but some things can't be fixed with new glass and fresh paint. 8 years later, Mandalay Bay still operates, still hosts conventions, still welcomes guests, still gleams gold against the desert sky. But there's a weight that never lifted. The property has been on shaky footing ever since the shooting. One longtime Vegas visitor wrote, "Travel writers note that Mandalay Bay will always be linked to October 1st. A convention attendee admitted it was hard for me to forget about the tragedy while staying there. Some visitors don't even know the shooting happened there. Some specifically avoid the property because of it. Some know and try not to think about it. Some genuinely don't care. But whether any individual guest feels it or not, the property carries it. In its reputation, in its bookings, in the quiet that settles over the casino floor. The weight is institutional, not just personal, and institutions don't forget. The 1st of October 2017 didn't just create a moment of tragedy, it created lasting damage that compounded with every other challenge the property faced. The location that was already challenging, now it felt more isolating. The convention dependency that was already a vulnerability, now it was a lifeline. The brand that needed to project luxury and escape, now it carried grief. And what was MGM's response to a property facing this kind of weight? Did they invest more? Double down on rebuilding the brand? Pour resources into making Mandalay Bay undeniably excellent? No! They sold the building. What is Mandalay Bay? Is it a tropical escape? The 11-acre beach? The wave pool? The lazy river that says resort destination? Come here to relax, get away from the chaos, find your paradise. Is it a convention destination? 2.1 million square feet of meeting space, the 10th largest in America that says business hub. Come here to work, make deals, fill your conference schedule. Is it an entertainment venue? House of Blues, Michelob Ultra Arena, the events calendar that says nightlife. Come here to see shows, hear music, experience something memorable. Is it a family destination? Shark Reef Aquarium, the beach, the pools that says bring the kids. Come here for wholesome fun, make memories together. Is it a sports hub? Right next to Allegiant Stadium, Raiders games, major events that says Tailgate Central. Come here for game day, be part of the action. Mandalay Bay is trying to be all of these things, and in trying to be everything, it's becoming excellent at nothing. There's no clear answer to the question, why should I stay here instead of somewhere else? Because for every identity Mandalay Bay claims, there's a competitor that does it better. Conventions? The Las Vegas Convention Center has 2.5 million square feet larger than Mandalay Bay. It's in the center of the Strip, connected to multiple hotels. If you're a convention planner thinking scale and accessibility, the LVCC is the serious choice. Luxury? Want luxury? The Wynn has better rooms and a better location. The Venetian has more suites and sits in the center of the Strip. The Bellagio is the iconic choice. Mandalay Bay can't compete on luxury when it's 2.5 miles from the action. Entertainment? The Sphere is a destination unto itself. T-Mobile Arena hosts the biggest concerts in UFC. Allegiant Stadium is right next door, but you don't need to stay at Mandalay Bay to attend a Raiders game. Quiet and peaceful, the locals' casinos off the Strip, Red Rock, Green Valley Ranch, M Resort offer an actual escape. Mandalay Bay is too far from the action to be convenient, but not far enough to feel truly peaceful. It's stuck in the middle. When Allegiant Stadium opened in 2020, it was supposed to change everything for Mandalay Bay. 70,000 seats, just steps away. Raiders home games, major concerts, the Super Bowl. Mandalay Bay was positioned to be the obvious beneficiary. Walk out of the game, walk into your hotel. No Uber, no traffic, no hassle. But here's the reality. The Raiders play 10 home games a year. Major stadium events are occasional, not constant. Most nights, Allegiant Stadium is dark and empty. And on the nights when there is an event, you don't have to stay at Mandalay Bay to attend. Every hotel on the Strip can get you there. The stadium helps on event nights. But event nights are the exception, not the rule. And the stadium didn't give Mandalay Bay an exclusive advantage, just proximity that anyone with a rideshare app can replicate. The game changer. Didn't quite change the game. So here's where Mandalay Bay stands. Furthest south on the Strip. Forever linked to the deadliest mass shooting in modern American history. Building sold to private equity, cost cuts, reducing service quality. An identity crisis that has the property competing in every category and dominating none. And a stadium next door that helps sometimes but didn't transform the fundamentals. Any one of these challenges would be manageable. Together, they create something else entirely. Managed decline. Not collapse, not closure, but something quieter, something sadder. A slow fade happening in plain sight. What's happening to Mandalay Bay isn't random, it's a pattern. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Trauma leads to brand damage. Brand damage leads to asset sale. Asset sale reduces investment incentive. Reduced investment leads to cost cuts. Cost cuts degrade guest experience. Degraded experience hurts reputation. Reputation damage lowers rates. Lower rates mean less revenue. Less revenue justifies more cuts. And the cycle repeats, each loop a little worse than the last. Not dramatic collapse, something quieter, the slow erosion of a once great property. But underneath all of this, the location, the sale, the cuts, the identity crisis, there's something we haven't fully addressed. The elephant in the room, the 1st of October 2017. MGM doesn't talk about it. The marketing doesn't reference it. Most reviews don't bring it up. Staff never discusses it with guests. It exists in this strange space public knowledge that's never publicly acknowledged. Some guests genuinely don't know the shooting happened there. They book the room, enjoy the beach, never learn the history. Some guests know and specifically choose other properties. Some guests know and try not to think about it while they're there. Some guests know and genuinely don't care. But whether any individual feels it or not, the property carries it. In every marketing decision that has to work around it. In every renovation that can't erase it. In the quiet that settles over certain floors. In the revenue that never quite recovered. The weight isn't about individual feelings, it's about institutional reality. Mandalay Bay will always be the site of the deadliest mass shooting in modern American history. That's not an opinion, it's a fact. And facts don't fade just because we stop talking about them. So what is the Mandalay Bay problem no one wants to talk about? It's not one problem, it's the constellation. Location that was always challenging, a tragedy that can never be erased, ownership that prioritized extraction over investment, cost cuts that degraded the experience, an identity crisis that left the property competing everywhere and winning nowhere, and a stadium that helped but didn't save. Any single challenge could be overcome. A property can survive a bad location with excellent service. A property can recover from tragedy with extraordinary care. A property can thrive under private equity with the right investment strategy. But all of them, together, compounding each other, that's not a problem to solve. That's a weight to carry. Mandalay Bay is still standing, still operating, still hosting conventions, still welcoming guests, still gleaming gold against the Nevada sky. It's still one of the most beautiful properties in Las Vegas. 3,000 rooms, 11-acre beach, world-class amenities, the bones of greatness. But 8 years after the 1st of October 2017, the property has never fully recovered. And maybe it never will.